welcome back to Sunday School. So good to be back with all of you. We hope you're doing well and staying safe in our cold and icy weather we've been having. We want to thank Leo and Rory for being our acolyte last week. You guys did a great job. And thanks to Graham for doing communion last week. And for this week, we want to thank Simone for being our acolyte. And we want to thank Kibwe for doing an outstanding job with communion. Way to go. Way to go. Well, this morning, we have a special little video to show you made by Clara and Alice. They made a stop-action Lego dinosaur movie for us that we'll show here before we do the acolyting. Today we continue our series, Ordinary People Change the World. And today we're learning about Abraham Lincoln. Well, with that, let's head on in to the lighting of our candle and our stop-action movie.
From the mountain tops to the valleys of life, may God's love be with you all.
Our scripture this morning, which ties into the story of Abraham Lincoln, comes from Galatians chapter 6, verses 9 and 10. And it says this: "Let us not grow tired in doing what is right, because in time we will have a harvest if we don't give up. So then, let us work for the good of all whenever we have the opportunity." Abraham Lincoln dared to do what was right, not what was easy, but what was right. To work for integrity and justice for all people. He once said, "I do the very best I know how, the best I can, and I mean to keep on doing so until the end." May we be people of integrity, of courage, who dare to do what is right. Well, with that, let's head on in to Sunday School.
Well, we have 3 birthdays to celebrate this week. We have Benjamin, who had a birthday, and Addie, and we have somebody who always celebrates our birthdays and always remembers and is so kind to all of us. And that is Eric. It is Eric. Eric celebrated his birthday this week. So, all 3 of them, here we go. We're going to sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Addie and Benjamin and Eric. Happy birthday to you. Here's this week's quiz. When Harriet Tubman escaped slavery at age 22, what did she follow at night on her journey to freedom? Was it A, the Mississippi River, B, the Natchez Trace, or C, the North Star? Announce your answer. The correct answer is C, the North Star. Harriet Tubman may become the first woman and person of color to appear on a U.S. paper bill. Which bill? A, $10 bill, B, $20 bill, or C, a $50 bill? Your answer? The correct answer is B, $20 bill. Harriet Tubman was known as the A, Moses of her people, B, Jesus of her people, or C, Joan of Arc of her people. Your answer? The correct answer is A, Moses of her people. Thanks for taking the quiz. I am Abraham Lincoln. When I was little, even young boys were expected to work on the farm and hunt animals for food. I was good at that, but I preferred reading. I also loved animals. I went to school for barely a year, but that didn't stop me. Using chalk, I practiced writing alphabet on trees. I even wrote in the dirt of the cornfield. When it came to learning, my best teachers were simply books. I loved books so much I once walked 6 miles. I'm serious, 6 miles to get one. And while waiting in line at a local store, and in one of my favorite positions with my feet up, before long I had read every book in the neighborhood, from the Bible to Aesop's Fables to Robinson Crusoe. But one of my favorites, a book about George Washington. I even copy my favorite parts on pieces of wood. When I was 22 years old, we moved to Illinois, where I met a group known as the Clary Grove Boys. Everyone in town knew they were bullies. I didn't like bullies, but I was the new guy. When they challenged me, I didn't have much choice. Today, some may call it a fight, but it was really a wrestling match. Me against their leader, Jack Armstrong. Back then, the rule was once you grabbed your opponent, you couldn't break your hold. But Jack did, so he grabbed my leg and sent me flying. I wasn't mad I lost. Everyone loses sometimes. What got me upset, he had cheated. Within seconds, they all surrounded me. They were waiting for me to back down or to lose my cool. Instead, calmly and confidently, I told them, if we have to, I will fight every single one of you fair and square. They knew I meant it. You're a strange kid, Abraham Lincoln. You've got guts. Sometimes the hardest fights don't reveal a winner, but they do reveal character, especially when you're fighting for something you believe in. Still, not every struggle brought a victory. Years later, I saw a group of slaves chained together in a boat on the Ohio River. Back then, not all people were free. Some were slaves. Just because of the color of their skin, they were forced to work without pay. They were treated terribly. I never forgot the sight of that boat. I didn't do anything that day, but for years, the memory of those people, it haunted me. I was still thinking about them when I became president. I lost 4 elections before I got the big job. 4. America was facing one of the greatest fights in our history, the Civil War. One side wanted to let the slaves go free. The other side We want to keep slavery going, and we'll fight anyone who says otherwise. If I had turned my head and looked away, I would have avoided the fight. But if I'd learned anything in life, it was this. When someone needed help, I wasn't so good at looking away. These people will be free. The Civil War lasted longer than anyone thought. The fighting took a terrible toll. People on our side were ready to give up. To re-energize them, we had a big event in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. The main speaker gave a speech that lasted nearly 2 hours. I gave a speech that lasted 2 minutes and used only 271 words. The most important 5 words I used? All men are created equal. Soon after, I helped pass a law that ended slavery in America and freed all those people. Then we ended the Civil War. As a result, we didn't just bring together these United States of America. We proved that this government of the people, by the people, and for the people would be dedicated to freedom and justice. In life, strength can take many forms, but there's nothing quite as strong as standing up for someone who needs it. No matter where you're from or how little you have, one thing that can never be taken away from you is your voice. When you find something you believe in, use your voice. And when you see injustice, speak louder than you've ever spoken before. When you do, it'll never be forgotten. I am Abraham Lincoln. I will never stop fighting for what's right. And I hope you'll remember that when you speak your mind and speak for others. There's no more powerful way to be heard. When I was a kid growing up near San Francisco, we got 2 days off in February. We were lucky. One was on February 12th for Lincoln's birthday. By the way, he would have been 212 this past Friday. And the other day was February 22nd for Washington's birthday. If you want to be precise, you can celebrate George Washington's 289th birthday on Monday, February 22nd. But since the early 70s, you've all been cheated. And when we combined into President's Day, it happens on the third Monday in February, which can fall between February 15th and the 21st. So tomorrow, February 15th, no school, kids. It's really become a day not just to celebrate George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. It's a day to celebrate all presidents. Now, here they are, all 46 of them. And you had George Washington was number 1, Abraham Lincoln was number 16, and our current president, Joe Biden, is number 46. So we say, happy birthday, Abe and George, and happy President's Day to all 46 of you.
remember that on the night that Jesus was betrayed, he gathered with his disciples in an upper room. And as was the custom, Jesus took the bread and blessed it and broke it, and he gave it to his disciples, saying, "Take, eat, this is my body broken for you. As often as you eat this bread, remember me." In the same way, after the supper, Jesus took the cup and gave thanks for it. And he gave it to his disciples, saying, "Take, drink. This is the new covenant in my blood, poured out for many. As often as you drink this cup, remember me."
Ordinary people change the world. This week's story about Abraham Lincoln connects to last week's story about Harriet Tubman. If you remember, Harriet Tubman led slaves to freedom on the Underground Railroad. Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves with the Emancipation Proclamation. He believed everyone was created equal. Both of them worked to free the slaves. Lincoln was the president during the Civil War, when the North and South were fighting over whether or not slavery should continue. Harriet Tubman was a spy for the North to help them win the war to free the slaves. The fight for racial equality continues to this day with the Black Lives Matter movement. I wonder what Jesus would think if he were alive today. Ponder that this week. Happy Valentine's Day. See you next Sunday.